Welcome to Philadelphia, the first stop before you get to hell.
Breaking right now at 5 on CBS News, Philadelphia. A birthday tragedy in East Germantown. 3 people are shot and killed, including a child who turned 12 years old today. Detectives are calling this just a horrific day for our community. I'm Yuki Washington.
I'm Jessica Cartalia. The shooting happened in the 700 block of East Locust Avenue just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. Let's get right out to CBS Philadelphia reporter Nikki Dementri, live at police headquarters with the very latest information. Nikki, what are you learning?
Yeah, absolutely heartbreaking this afternoon. As you said, police say one of those 3 victims is a 12-year-old boy. They say everything unfolded just after 2 p.m. and right now it's unclear how and why this all started. Now, Philadelphia police say when they arrived on that 700 block of East Locust, they found 2 men, one in his 40s, another in his 30s near Croston Street. The child, police say, looks to have been running towards his house when he was shot. All 3 were pronounced at Albert Einstein Medical Center. Police say little is known about how this shooting started and a motive tonight. A community activist who was speaking with families while we were on scene there says today is that child's 12th birthday.
We know what all of the families are saying. People that witnessed it, people that are here, the people that live here, that this is heartbreaking because when you live a place that's dangerous, you gotta have a place where there's peace.
We don't have a lot of information. We know from looking at the crime scene, we were dealing with rifle rounds. There's at least 12 rifle rounds that were spread across the 700 block of Locust here. It's a horrific day. It's not a good day. And we're going to work hard to make sure we try to bring these individuals to justice.
Tonight, Philadelphia police are looking for a vehicle that might have been involved in this incident. They say at this point a suspect either fired while either entering or exiting that vehicle. There's no description at this time while the investigation continues. Live in Spring Garden, Nikki Dementri, back to you both in the studio.
Another violent weekend in the city of Philadelphia. Last night we told you that 4 people, including a toddler, were shot in Point Breeze. Today we learned there was actually a 5th victim from that shooting. Action News reporter Sharifa Jackson joins us live from police headquarters with more on this case. Sharifa.
Yeah, Walter, more gunfire and, like you said, another weekend packed with violence as we learn about more victims. And again, overall this weekend, 2 very young children shot. Nearly a dozen people shot in 3 different shootings overnight across multiple neighborhoods. Police in Philadelphia adding another victim to a case where 5 people were shot on Ringgold Street in the Point Breeze neighborhood. The victims ranging in age from 4 years old to 58 years old. Authorities believe there were at least 2 shooters involved, and 3 of the victims were innocent bystanders, including the young child shot in the chest while playing outside. And just a few hours later, police say 3 people were shot outside in the 600 block of Franklin Place in the city's Poplar area. A 25-year-old man was shot in the stomach, a 22-year-old woman shot in her right leg, and a 31-year-old man was shot in his back leg. No arrests or weapons were recovered, and the violence was not just in the city, but also the suburbs.
The child was shot once and the adult male was shot several times.
Lower Merion police also investigating a shooting that left 2 people, including a 5-year-old boy, injured Sunday morning. The gunfire erupted just after 8 a.m. at the Bala Kenwood Shopping Center parking lot on City Avenue.
It appears to be something that happened during custody exchange this morning. The person who is alleged to have done the shooting is in police custody.
Detective Keenan says this is the 3rd shooting in Lower Merion Township in 5 days, something that's not typical for the area. Yeah, and police, they made an arrest in at least one of these cases. They're following leads in others, and like always, they need the public's help to help solve some of these. We're live outside Philadelphia Police Headquarters. Sharifa Jackson, Channel 6, Action News. Walter.
Okay, Sharifa, thank you.
We're following this breaking news this morning, and unfortunately it does concern teenagers and more gun violence in the city. Police are investigating 2 separate shootings involving large groups of teenagers gathering in Airbnb rentals. Now, the first incident was in Kensington, the other not long after in Strawberry Mansion. Action News reporter Catherine Scott joins us from police headquarters with more on what we've learned about what happened overnight. Good morning.
Good morning, Tam. That's right. 2 separate shootings, and police believe they both stem from parties at different Airbnb properties.
I was outside of my house and I heard a whole bunch of yelling and then all of a sudden I heard a whole bunch of gunshots, and then a group of kids just running down the street.
Nearby resident Nicole Miller then called 911. An 18-year-old was found on the corner, shot twice in his abdomen. It was right around 10 o'clock last night in Kensington. Police say between 50 and 100 people, many of them juveniles, were at a party at what appears to be an Airbnb property on Amber and Susquehanna. Shell casings found outside. The victim was listed in critical but stable condition and was believed to have been at the house before being shot. Then in a separate shooting about 2 hours later at 11:50 p.m., police were called for a large crowd, dozens inside and outside the Airbnb property in Strawberry Mansion on North 29th and Cecil B. Moore, including many juveniles. While officers were dispersing the crowd, they were told a girl had been shot. Officers found the 13-year-old around the corner. She was taken to the hospital in stable condition. An 18-year-old was driven to Temple by private vehicle, shot in his legs. A spent shell casing was found on the first floor of the Airbnb. Police had just been to the house the night before.
Police were just out here last night. Several calls at this location for unruly crowds, which they dispersed. And again, they do know it to be an Airbnb.
In April, City Council held a hearing on short-term rental properties rented through platforms like Airbnb following a growing number of complaints about a handful of properties that neighbors say are causing problems consistently, including parties and including violence. We are live at police headquarters. Catherine Scott, Channel 6 Action News.
Yeah, more needs to be done to prevent these things. Catherine.